Hello, it's Wednesday, Conscious Tea Day. Today we're talking being the best for your client. This chat is for mentors, life coaches, any personal teachers of all sorts, and we're discussing this with Whitney, who is a life coach, and with Laura, who is a mentor. So we're going to bring them on. We're here every Wednesday at 11, but we might actually be switching over to every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. So stay tuned. We'll always give you guys updates on that. We're going to wait for Laura to pop in here. Whitney is here. Hey, Whitney. I'm going to bring you guys in at the same time. That's how it works best. And then, all right. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Laura. I'm going to bring you guys in now. All right, inviting Laura and Whitney at the same time. So we're excited. We're going to talk about just how to be the best for your client. Hey, Whitney.
Hi.
How are you? Hey.
Yay. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
What's up, Whit? You look great. How are you?
Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for hosting, Lizzie.
Yeah, of course. Excited to chat with you guys today. Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
Sorry. All right. So
hey
tell
guys,
us a little bit about, Go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about, what's up, Chris? Today we're going to be talking about mentoring and coaching and being the best for your client, because Whit and I are mentors and Whit is a life coach. So, I think it's a really crucial time to talk about this right now, because I feel like after COVID, so many people have, wanted to start fresh, and a lot of people are leaving their 9-to-5 jobs and are trying to get some perspective on their life. So I feel like people like us that serve that type of community and those type of individuals that are looking for that, that's what we're here for.
Yep. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about how Whitney, how did you get into life coaching, and what do you help your clients with?
Yeah, so it could be a really long story, but I'll try and keep it on the shorter side. I feel like in some sense, I was kind of meant to do this from birth. So my dad was actually an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker. So I've just really grew up into personal development, and I've always been really goal driven and just wanting to achieve and always kind of feel like I'm moving forward in my life. When he passed away, which it's been over 10 years now, kind of sent me into, as you can imagine, the darkest of darks that I'd ever experienced in my life, which, years later kind of became my spiritual awakening and really sent me down the rabbit hole of healing and really looking within myself and, who do I want to be in this world? That's kind of, I guess, the short version. And COVID happened. Prior to that, I was actually running a dog walking and boarding business. And so at that time, everyone was able to care for their dogs. All the dogs got super spoiled this last year. And yeah, the seas kind of parted, and it just felt like the right natural time. I was like, okay, what's the next step? And took me a long time to get to this path, but did a lot of other things in between, but feel like I finally, I'm living into my passion.
So cool. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always amazing just to know that you were born into this, like you said, do you remember growing up, your dad just being a coach and doing these motivational things at home?
Oh my God, 100% of the time. Yeah. He was literally on the phone all day long, 24/7. So he had a home office. Always talking to clients, connecting and serving people. And my dad was the kind of guy, he had a crazy big personality. So my friends growing up, either half of them were like, your dad's amazing, oh my God. And the other half was like, dude, what is up with your dad? They're like, he's crazy, I totally don't get it. But I mean, as early as 7th grade, I remember he would send me off to school in the morning and he would literally say to me, repeat this after me. I expect great things to happen today, And as you want to be cool and kind of have the cool parents growing up. So sometimes it was like, oh my God, it's embarrassing. Stop. But, now that he's not with us, which he still totally is here, but
Mhm.
come to realize how blessed I was to really have that.
Oh yeah, definitely. That, I mean, I think that just makes such a big difference, right? Just in your like your day and growing up that way. Is that still something that you say to yourself today?
I don't think I say it in that exact way, but I do
Yeah.
love affirmations. I mean, I definitely talk to myself in ways, if I need a little pep talk or whatever I'm wanting to focus on. Even today, coming into this, I'm like, trying to prepare. I'm like, I don't need to over prepare. I just want to trust and, be open to whatever happens.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very
So
cool.
cool. So how do you feel now being in this position, being a life coach and serving others?
Yeah, it feels really good. It's interesting because it's different than what I thought it would initially be. And I think that a lot of people, I feel, become life coaches because they want to give advice and they want to share and they've had, their own life experience. And that's totally why I got into it. And later to learn that's not what it's about at all. Like, it's not about me. It's totally like taking myself out of the equation and
Mhm.
really just making the focus on the person and their growth.
So
Amazing.
nice.
So what do you help, what do a lot of your clients come to you for, and what do you help them with? So we're going to give people just a little bit of a backstory on like you and Laura, you as a life coach and Laura as a mentor, so that then we can build out like what is it that how are you the best for your client?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel it's such a wide range. I feel like it's almost tricky to narrow down, but I would say mostly it's self-expression. I feel like I really help women with self-expression, which has been a big part of my path, is learning to speak up for ourselves, create
Mhm.
boundaries, like really step into our power and basically to stop living this small, tiny version of ourselves, and really expand and be bigger. And when we do that, then, or when my clients do that, they can go after whatever they want to create, whether it's like career, relationship, finances, all the abundance.
All the abundance for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
That's really important. I feel like after having like a mentor or life coach, I realized that I feel like I will forever need one, whether it be in a different sector or another type of person that specializes in sexual wellness or life coaching or any of these things. It's like I realize the learning will never stop.
Mhm.
So I will definitely need to have some sort of hired guide in my life,
Mhm.
just a bit older or people that are more seasoned, right? I think that
Mhm.
it's very important to have some sort of um, guidance as especially as women navigating our own chapters in life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super cool. Well,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, I think it's, oh, sorry. Yeah, I just was gonna say, I think it's so important to have someone that's just one step ahead of you. And
Mhm.
that's what's so beautiful about this career path, too, is that we just never stop growing and learning. With my
Mhm.
jobs in the past, I always would, you just go so far, right? I would hit a wall and just feel stagnant and be like, where's this going? And with life coaching and mentoring, yeah, it's like we're forever working on ourselves and helping people do
Mhm.
the same.
Mhm. Mhm. So
Awesome.
during the pandemic, was it difficult for you just kind of navigating that space with everything else that was happening and just figuring yourself out to help other people figure themselves out?
I feel like I try to stay pretty grounded into it, so as long as I'm keeping up with my practices and, spending time in nature and taking care of myself, it felt like I could still show up for people. And like Laura said, it's people need it more now than ever. So it felt like even more of a service, like it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is the perfect time to be getting into this.
Yeah. As more people were at home and doing like this self-discovery because they were just with themselves, it really gave them that time to figure out what direction do they want to go in and who do they need to help them take those steps. So that's super beautiful. So Laura, I'd love to know, like, so tell us about your mentoring too. So you do mentoring. How long have you been doing it, and and just what what um what made you decide to go after that?
Yeah. So I think like Whit said, she was like kind of pulled into this. I definitely think that I was always kind of trying to find myself through like self-discovery, like during the last like 4 years of my fashion business. And I know I started like just exploring myself and exploring all like the self-development world. And I realized like, wow, I was like, okay, I realized I've been doing this for like 3 to 4 years now, and I have all these tools, right, to be able to like have self-introspection, to be able to break traumas or break old patterns that I've dealt with my life. And I realized that I was like, I could possibly help others with these tools. I could possibly change other people's lives. And the biggest takeaway is that I have 13 years of successes and really big failures with my fashion brand. So that is like the most important asset that I have, is having that experience. So why not share all these successes and failures with other small business owners and other entrepreneurs that are either in the fashion sector, nonprofit sector, online business to e-commerce, things like that. So I realized like that is the biggest book I have. That's the biggest rule book that I have, is be able to share that with people. So when I started really doing this seriously, I kind of went as I kind of learned as I went, also got myself a mentor who has taught me a world of new possibilities of, just taking myself more seriously and having more confidence in myself to actually do this full time for a profession. So, but yeah, it's been great because, my clients range from fashion people to artists that are trying to leave their finance jobs to, baby. I have two mentoring for two babies kids lines, kids wear. So they're all like, women trying to, really make more money to grow their business and learn more about like building a foundation for their business and brand. And if that's not also something looking for, I also try to incorporate as much information as I can for self-development, talking about people's wins and making sure that they feel they're doing enough. So I'm kind of just like their soundboard, and making sure that that I'm keeping them accountable for any of their big goals, their long-term goals and their short-term goals. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us about a time that like warmed your heart, like something one of your clients that was just a win for them that really kind of made you feel like, dang, this is really fruitful. This is like, I love doing this.
Yeah, like today, I have a new mentee. Her name is Kimberlyn. She's a dancer in Utah. She's a dancer, and she was just like, I'm so excited to do this. Like, and I've been looking for a mentor, and I think Whit can like agree with me, is that like people, when they're ready to like step into their power, they seek people that are like giving the type of services that we're giving, and I think that it's just you could feel that energy and feel that excitement and feel that like that willingness to like surrender to learn, like through the phone, because we do, most of all of our coaching and things like that, obviously with COVID, has been through through Zoom. So it's been like really nice to feel that energy of excitement of people just like hungry to unpack things that don't serve them anymore, and also just like learn, just basics of whether it be branding, self-development, finance, things like that. So today was a really nice like reminder that I am on the right path for what I'm doing.
Awesome. Nice. A reminder, even just a fresh reminder.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of what kind of self-care do you practice so that you can show up and be the best for your client?
I definitely feel like since Liz and we do the podcast and we do the mentoring, I do make sure that in the mornings I try to give myself a good 2 hours of trying to sit with myself. I do at least like a 30-minute meditation to calm my nervous system, to talk to my spirit guides, whatever I need to do that day that I'm feeling, be able to do meditation, do a little bit 10-minute of journaling of just like self-reflection, and just do a little 30-minute workout, just so any type of anxieties or stresses, so like getting out of there and get that good endorphin, so I could really show up for myself before I can give and serve anybody else, right? Because if we don't show up for ourselves first, how can we show up for others? So through these small like techniques in the morning, I could really be clear-minded, focused, and and listen very deeply to my clients instead of making sure that I hear exactly what they need to say and show that I am here for them.
Yeah. I'm always amazed by people like you too, because I feel like it's hard. You have to really be in a good place yourself to be really of service to others. And so you really got to be making sure that you're taking care of yourself and doing that self-care and just doing whatever it is that makes you super balanced and open and clear so that you can help everyone else. So Whitney, what kind of things do you do to make sure that you're kind of the best for your clients?
Yeah, I can relate a lot with Laura. I mean, on those practices, like definitely moving my body is super important for me. So I'll get out and walk a lot, or yeah, do my little workout in the morning, my cardio, push. I love just doing little tiny things throughout the day too. I think sometimes when people think about self-care, or they're like, oh, I don't have time for it, they think they have to chunk out like 3 hours, for self-care. And I love just like I lit my incense, before we jumped on. Just like those really tiny little mindful moments are important to me. Definitely breath work. Breathing's probably my number one tool. If I'm just feeling anxious or anything, even if I'm feeling good, just tapping into my breath, taking really deep breaths. I love to be surrounded by positive things too, and just like have focuses on my whiteboard. So if there's a lesson that I've learned or just something that's become a focus, I'll just kind of keep that visual for myself too.
Nice. Yeah. Is that your whiteboard behind you, or is that like a mural you have painted?
This is like this, yeah, trust your process, just some art.
Very cool. I love that. I know. Yeah. I think whiteboards and things like that are super important so that you can just leave yourself these little messages and little reminders like throughout the day, like you said. That's such a great tip. What else? Do you also have mentors, Whitney? Like what have you learned from your mentors? How important are mentors to you if you do have one?
Yeah, I think it's so, so important, because it's like they say the proof is in the pudding, so it's like, how can I coach people and say that I believe in coaching if I don't have a coach of my own, right? And I think beyond just diving into my own stuff, the beauty of it too is seeing how a really powerful coaches. So there's just so much learning in that too. So yeah, I have a coach. Thankfully, I'm in a really great community of coaches too. So we'll do kind of trades, or, if I'm just going through something, I'm like, man, I need to get coached right now. I feel like I have so many people now that I can call, which is really awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I think the biggest lessons, one is to slow down. Just to slow down and obviously I'm a really fast-paced person, as you can see. So that's a big one for me, is just like slowing down, giving things time. The other thing that really hits home that I share with my clients is we don't need to know how to do something to do it. So we really get stuck, people are like, oh, well, I don't know how. And it just becomes this excuse that keeps us safe and holds us back from ever getting started on things. And so just to take massive action, and to take scary, messy action, and just start trying things and doing, and the how will come.
Love that.
Amazing. Yes. Yeah, those are such great tips. So those are some lessons that your mentor has just kind of like helped you with, or just kind of some like key takeaways that you just always have in your mind.
Yeah, my coach is just amazing at getting people to take action. It's crazy. Like you just there's no time to be like, how, what if, anything, It's just, he just gets you straight into just doing and experiencing things. And I think that's where the learning really is.
Awesome. And so for anyone that is interested, so, we're going to share this on our IGTV. This will be like as part of our Conscious Tea series. So for anyone that is interested in becoming like a life coach like that, do you have any tips for people that are just starting off to like how to communicate with your client, communication tips on being like the best communicator for your particular client?
Yeah, I think for someone that's just starting out, definitely just being assertive and being really clear. I think that on a subconscious level, they want to be led, they want to be guided, and that makes us feel safe with someone. So just being really assertive and being bold. Also that gentleness of being really loving and understanding, and I think other than that, just an openness, like being willing to be open and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. And so,
Awesome.
yeah, those are great tips too. So if as a life coach, right, it's important that you stay, pretty neutral. You don't want to like give or put any of like your own opinions onto someone. How do you ensure that you're not pushing any of like your specific like, opinions on any of your clients?
Yeah. I mean, it's a constant practice, I think, of taking ourselves out of the equation, and it's like if I'm in my head, worried about the next best question or, this or that,
Yeah.
then it's not really serving my clients,
Mm-hmm.
So just coming in empty, being as clear-headed as I can, and just really prioritizing their personal growth. I think kind of letting the ego drop out of it, which, like I said, it's a constant practice, right? Because I have so many ideas, I have so many opinions about everything. But I'm like, okay, I need to just, like, I believe that our clients know the answer. So it's all about them finding them.
Mm-hmm. So just in a way, guiding them, just kind of being that person that's showing them the way, allowing them to discover it themselves, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. We have a comment from Jessica Elizabeth Coaching who says working with Whit has changed her life. She's such an incredible steward of my emotions and my process. So I just wanted to share that little love. If there's anyone else in the room that wants to share some love, please do. And if you guys have any questions for Laura and Whit, please drop them in the little question box there, and we'll definitely get those answered. So yeah, I'd love to go to ask Laura now, like, so as a business mentor, how do you work with clients and how do you get them to measure like their goals, their business goals, and how do you set up like a successful plan for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, each individual that I mentee is special because it's basically being respectful on where their journey is in their life. Especially, if they're younger, or, some people, I do like incubation. So, some people are still working at their 9 to 5 job, and there's other people that already left their 9 to 5 job and they already have a small business. So there's two different types of mentees that I work with. But I definitely love to start with making sure that people understand what they want to do for their personal brand or their own actual business brand. So we talk about storytelling. We work with them. I talk to people on building confidence on storytelling. So creating like a biography for yourself, making sure that they have a strong value system of who their brand, of what their personal brand represents. Making sure that they have just an actual like tagline of who they are, it's like a basic business card. So making sure that they understand their tagline for their personal brand. And then we start talking about, basic stuff like building a online store, like an e-commerce store, what kind of services they want to provide, creating short-term, long-term goals like financially. And yeah, we talk about so many different things that whatever they want to learn in their specific thing, whether it's art, and also like giving them the confidence to also sell their products, sell their services, sell their digital products, whatever products there is, because I was able to do that for 13 years, and I know it's capable for people to sell and to trade and to like really have a successful e-commerce business, because that could get really messy and people just don't know where to start, like at all. So I try to just give them just like brand basics, business basics, and then scale from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how do you
kind of giving them a 360 of just doing their own brand.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Very nice. And so I think this question is a good one for both of you guys. So how do you determine whether or not a client is the right fit? Like what questions do you ask yourself? Because I'm sure you don't take on every client, right? So how do you determine, all right, this client is, I'm the right person for them, I'm the right coach, or maybe I should recommend someone else? Yeah, if you want to start. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just an overall energy. You know, I think when I jump on a call with someone, I feel like we kind of feel it right away. Like most of my clients, you know, that work really well together, there's just an energy about it. And I think the biggest thing is I just look for people that are really driven, because that excites me. Like I think oftentimes we coach and mentor people that are a lot like us. Like I really feel like we are our ideal clients in some sense, you know? So I love to coach people that are really self-aware, really driven, that I can just see have a passion, you know, for more in their lives. And it's, you know, not everyone is ready for the commitment. It is a commitment, right? So kind of just feeling that readiness.
How do you gently just tell them like, oh, do you tell them that they might not be ready, or how do you tell them no?
Yeah, that's a good question. I thankfully haven't had to experience that yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I would just gently share that I don't feel like we're the best fit, you know, and that I know a few other coaches that I could recommend. So I would definitely want to connect them with someone.
Awesome. Cool. All right, Laura, what about you? How do you determine if someone's like the right fit for you? How do you feel it out?
Yeah, so the way I work is just I send a new prospective client like just a set of questions to see where they're at and like what they need, so what kind of services they need, and also asking them right off the bat like if they do have a budget for investing into themselves and if they're actually committed. Because if they're not committed, then I mean, there's no point of trying and forcing something that's just not coming naturally. So I want to make sure that I ask them that, because if they're really fully committed, they'll be willing to invest. So yeah, so I always ask that. And what going off of what said, definitely energy. I've also learned a lot through mentoring that some clients I wish I didn't get to take on, but at the same time, it's all like a learning lesson, you know? So, you know, not saying that any of my mentees I have now are not amazing, if they're honest. I love all my mentees, but it's yeah, definitely go by intuition, definitely go with gut, and also learning boundaries as well, knowing that if the person doesn't vibe with you is like also learning to, yeah, you might lose out on a paid opportunity or a new client like in your resume, but it's also it's a better win for you in the long run.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I feel like there's a thing, there's people always tend to feel like committed to something, right? And they're like, yeah, I'm committed, and they have all this energy towards something. It doesn't happen to everyone, but some people, like, they go into something and they're like so gung-ho, but then they lose the commitment or they lose like that drive. What do you guys do if that happens with a client?
That's a good question. If they lose the drive, I mean, I think just knowing that they'll get back on course, you know, just gently trying to bring them back on course.
Okay.
And also to know that like we don't have to be on and feeling driven and motivated 24/7. You know, there's going to be weeks where we just need to slow down or rest a little bit, and that's okay. And then we can get back to kind of doing the work again, you know?
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, when I first started mentoring, I had some clients that, they were not responding, or, after they already invested in working with me. And I think, you can't take anything personally, because people are going to go through their own seasons. Like what Whit said, people are going to go through their own seasons, whether it be a personal situation or a family situation, you never know. So it's always good to just, keep it open, because people, when you have clients, they always eventually come back in the few years, a few months, making sure that you have that good repertoire with your clients and just keeping that communication open.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people remember. Maybe, yeah, and like Whit and Laura said, like if people aren't on all the time, and if they kind of drop off, like maybe they come back, or it's just like that one week is that they're a little bit off, and then they kind of pick back up the following week. But yeah, life is full of so many ups and downs all the time. So what type of things do you guys do for future, I guess, self-development to kind of stay on top of just learning and being the best? And are there any things that you guys subscribe to, or any types of programs that you guys are into? If you want to start, Whit.
Yeah, I'm just a sucker for audiobooks and podcasts. So I feel like I'm always learning, honestly. Right now, I'm really into personal finance. So that's kind of become my top thing, just, learning the ins and outs of that. So yeah, just constantly learning and connecting with my peers, even doing things like this with you girls, it's like just staying inspired and staying in conversations that feel really good, that kind of continue to light the fire.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Whit. Right now, I think, we're so blessed to be able to live on this generation of this time where knowledge and resources are so abundant, whether it's be on YouTube or the podcast or all these doctors or people on Clubhouse just giving out all this free knowledge, and like they have no expectations. It's just really amazing to like, it's also amazing, but also scary because it's so distracting. But I think right now we're just like, it's just amazing that we have all this knowledge. Like I wish I tapped into this when I was younger, but I think right now is just like, it's just this wave of revolutionary, just like learn, here's the information, it's free, Yeah. But yeah, right now I'm definitely into, tapping into my habits, trying to stay laser focused, and just trying to be as less judgmental as I can. And yeah, and just tap into all these amazing podcasts. I'm really loving The School of Greatness. That's a really good podcast that I'm listening to right now.
Is it Lewis
Hamilton? Yes. And yeah, there's just so many. I definitely think we should just have a list of just a podcast and self-development like gurus that we could just talk about. We need to put that somewhere on the podcast IG.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, there are such a crazy amount of resources now, and like Laura said, it's like they can be distracting, but I mean, with there always has to be the good and the bad, and it's so distracting, but at the same time there's so much wealth of knowledge to learn. And I was just watching a movie the other day, and it was just a little random thought where they had to like look up a word, and like they didn't use their phone, and I was like, oh my god, that's right, people used to have to like look up things in like dictionaries and information. You really used to have to work for information, but nowadays it's like information is so abundant, all we have to do is just Google whatever it is that we're feeling or we're looking into, and then we just dive in, and it's like a plethora of learning. Yeah. Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to like chat about? Anything else that popped up, or you guys want to ask each other or ask?
I don't know, Laura, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, life coaching, it seems like a very amazing service that you're offering to people. And what are people like? I know that's like very personal and very, you shouldn't, I don't know, maybe not as easy to share, but what is your collective like clients? You're saying just to take up more space and things like that. What are people trying to discover about themselves right now? What mainly you feel?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing is how to be vulnerable, but also how to be really bold. I think a lot of people just have trouble like going after what they want, believing in themselves, and knowing that they can have whatever they want. So, you mentioned confidence. I think everything kind of always comes back to that, right? Like ultimately it's building confidence to do the things they want to do and just and create that life that they want for themselves.
Yeah. And I see that with my clients too, is kind of like unlearning all these stories that we tell ourselves throughout our lifetime, like we're not good enough, I'm not skilled enough, I don't have, lack of resources, lack of support, things like that. It's almost like clients of mine, they've had years and years of success, but once like a failure happens or trauma happens, it kind of takes over completely. And you kind of have to be there for them to just remind them of their power, remind them of who they are, and remind them of all the success that they've had, so that's kind of like what I'm kind of, feeling out right now with some of my clients and stuff. It's like, stepping into who they are and taking up more space, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned the stories we tell ourselves. Yeah. Because we could just make excuses all day long, and all these
Mhm.
stories, they just keep us from doing things. They just keep us from
Yeah.
really stepping into our power.
Mhm.
And so I think once we can really release those and create new stories, right? Like it's like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to create yourself to be? My coach, I took a note of it. Oh, what did he say? Oh, he says we are who we practice to be. We are who we practice to be. So it's like we can practice being whoever we want to be, to
Love
be this
that.
different version of ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we start each day as a new chapter. So, I think that's important too because the past always seems to be present, but we just have to keep on learning that the
Mhm.
past is in the past.
Yeah.
Are there any other like affirmations that you guys are super just like feeling right now that it's just part of like your current moment?
Hmm. I mean, I would just say for anyone, it's whatever resonates with you
Mhm.
in the moment. Like I just love to say I'm open, I'm trusting. Everything that's happening is perfect. Like I have all kinds of different things that I'll throw around.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, today I meditated this morning just on expansion and growth. I think I really wasn't ready until like this week or this month. So I'm like just trying to, yes, like you said, take up space, expand and grow. Yeah, and like just stop playing small. So that's what I'm feeling right now.
Awesome. Very awesome. So, what other
Yeah.
any other advice that you have for anyone pursuing like life coaching, Whitney, that you wish you would have known when you were first starting off, or just kind of any like words of inspiration for anyone that's interested in pursuing life coaching?
Yeah, I would definitely say get a coach of your own. I think that's where it
Yes.
starts. Number one, get a coach of your own and actually coach, practice coaching because what a lot of coaches do in the beginning is they spend all their time building a fancy website on social media, doing all these other things, and they're not confident as an actual coach to be with a human in that space. So I just would say like the more you can coach, the better. And don't focus so much on the other stuff in the beginning. Just get good at your craft.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm so right there with whatever she said. I love that. Yeah, just get a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
be able to, learn and absorb as much as you can from that mentor and use your support system and network, and I think network is so important to be the best type of coach or life coach is like use like your network and tribe to support you in whatever you need to start.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And Laura, for you, have you been since now what you do today and what you used to do, like in the fashion industry, is so different. Are you still able to tap into like your network for this like new line of work that you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's like I kind of show that in as a benefit for my clients to sign with me because I
Mm-hmm.
give them a plethora of one-on-one calls with my network of people that are successful professionals and also my success team, which is people that I've worked with for licensing,
Mm-hmm.
lawyers, accountants that are really great. So these are all just like basic foundations that any small business needs in order to really grow and to really make a really great income for their business is like being able to have their success team. So I'm able to like introduce these people, because other than that, I mean, how else are you going to find these people? You're going to Google them, right? But I mean,
Right.
who are you going to trust? So, I'm able to offer that share my network, share my peers, being able to connect with other people that could also help them, not just mentoring me, but like one-on-one calls with people that they look up to. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for all the information, all the helpful tips. I know someone out there is definitely going to be inspired by this. I already see some people in here that have been leaving, lots of emojis. So thanks to you guys for tuning in. We're here every Wednesday, but we might be here bi-weekly now on Wednesdays at 11 a.m., the Conscious Tea. So our upcoming calendar, next in a few weeks, we're speaking with a whole food, like plant-based, like medicine doctor, like nutritionist, who is leading the way inside of a hospital to try to like inspire more of her clients to go like plant-based for as food as medicine. So that'll be coming up. So definitely check us out. Follow us at the Conscious Kitchen Pod. Chat with Whitney if you're looking for a life coach. Chat with Laura if you're looking for a business mentor. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thanks you guys for all your wisdom.
Yeah, thank you, Liz, for hosting. You guys be sure to follow Whit on her IG. Make sure you follow her, and be sure to check out our latest episodes on the Conscious Kitchen podcast. Season 4 is up and running, and you will get some amazing value from those topics. So check us out on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, like, do all the things.
Yeah, and thank you, Whit, for your time. And
Yeah,
and your time is very valuable. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so
much.
much.
No, this was so awesome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well, you guys have an amazing rest of your day.
Yeah, have a good day. Bye.
Bye guys.